Some of you have been praying for a financial breakthrough for so long that you're starting to wonder if heaven put your request on hold. You've been sowing, serving, believing, trusting, and still the numbers don't add up. The bills are loud. The pressure is real. The opportunities seem delayed. But I came to tell you something today. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not about to happen. There are signs. There are spiritual signals. There are divine indicators that God is preparing to bless you financially, and most of the time, they don't look like blessings at first. One of the first signs is increased pressure. When the enemy starts attacking your peace around money, when unexpected expenses show up, when it feels tighter than ever, that's not proof of defeat. That's often confirmation of proximity. The closer you get to breakthrough, the more resistance you feel. Pressure is not punishment, pressure is preparation. Diamonds are formed under pressure. And God doesn't increase pressure unless He's increasing capacity. Another sign is a shift in your mindset. You start thinking differently about money. You become more disciplined, more intentional. You stop praying for quick cash and start praying for wisdom. You begin valuing stewardship over spending. That's not random growth, that's God upgrading your thinking to match the level He's about to take you to. Because He will never release provision to someone who isn't ready to manage it. Sometimes the sign is separation. Certain people start exiting your life. Certain distractions lose their appeal. Doors you thought would open stay closed. It feels like loss, but it's actually protection. God will remove what would sabotage the blessing before He releases the blessing. He loves you too much to let you step into overflow with the wrong influences attached. Another sign is increased responsibility before increased reward. You're doing more with less recognition. You're handling small tasks with big faithfulness. You're showing up when nobody applauds. That's not being overlooked, that's being tested. Faithfulness in the small things is heaven's resume builder. When you manage little like it's much, God knows you can manage much like it's little. You may also notice a holy dissatisfaction rising inside you. What used to be enough no longer satisfies you. You feel called to more. You feel stirred to build, create, expand. That's not greed, that's growth. God plants vision before He plants provision. The discomfort is the stretching. And stretching always precedes expansion. And here's a big one, your prayers shift from, God, give me money, to, God, make me ready. When you start asking for character instead of cash, discipline instead of dollars, wisdom instead of wealth, that's when heaven leans in. Because financial blessing in God's kingdom is not just about what you hold, it's about who you become. Sometimes the clearest sign is peace in the middle of lack. The numbers may not look different yet, but your spirit is steady. You're not panicking like before. You're not comparing like before. You trust. That peace is powerful. It means your faith has matured beyond circumstance. And when faith matures, favor follows. Don't despise the season you're in. Seeds don't look like harvests. Preparation doesn't look like promotion. Obedience doesn't always look profitable at first. But every act of integrity, every disciplined decision, every generous move, it's all building something you cannot yet see. God is not just trying to get money to you. He's trying to get maturity in you. Because money without maturity multiplies problems, but money with maturity multiplies purpose. If you've been stretched, pressed, refined, and reshaped, if your mindset is elevating, if your circle is shifting, if your peace is growing even before your paycheck does, don't quit now. You might be closer than you think. The pressure could be proof. The delay could be design. The pruning could be preparation. And the same God who allowed the process is the God who releases the provision, right on time. Sometimes the clearest sign that God is about to bless you financially is not comfort, it's pressure. And I know that sounds backwards. Because when the bills are stacking up, when unexpected expenses hit at the worst time, when opportunities seem delayed and resources feel tight, the last thing you think is, this must mean a blessing is coming. But pressure has a purpose. Pressure reveals what comfort hides. It exposes weaknesses in our thinking, forces us to confront our habits, and stretches our faith beyond what feels manageable. When pressure increases, it often means your capacity is being expanded. You cannot carry greater provision with a small mindset. You cannot manage overflow with limited discipline. So before God increases what's in your hands, He increases what's in your heart. The tension you feel may actually be transformation taking place. It's uncomfortable because growth always is. Muscles don't grow without resistance. Diamonds aren't formed without pressure. And character doesn't develop without challenge. Financial pressure has a way of pushing you to depend on God differently. You pray more intentionally. You think more strategically. You begin to question old patterns and make wiser decisions. You become more aware of where your money goes and why. The struggle sharpens you. It builds endurance. It teaches you stewardship in a way abundance never could. Because when you don't have much, you learn to value every little thing. That discipline becomes the foundation for greater responsibility later. Pressure also tests your perspective. Will you see the situation as proof that you are failing, or will you see it as preparation for what's next? It's easy to celebrate when provision flows freely. It's harder to trust when the numbers don't make sense. But faith that only works when everything is easy is not mature faith. When you keep showing up, keep believing, keep making wise choices even when it's tight, you are building something stronger than money. You are building resilience. And here's the truth, the enemy does not attack empty fields. Resistance increases when something valuable is about to break through. The closer you get to growth, the more intense the opposition can feel. That doesn't mean you should quit. It may mean you are closer than you realize. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs are preceded by the greatest battles. Pressure refines motives too. It reveals whether you want money for status or for purpose. It forces you to evaluate what truly matters. In tight seasons, you discover creativity you didn't know you had. You develop discipline you never practiced before. You uncover strength you didn't realize was inside you. So if things feel heavier right now, don't immediately assume it's a setback. It may be a setup. It may be the training ground for a level you prayed for. The very pressure that feels overwhelming could be the evidence that you are being prepared to handle more than you've ever held before. Before anything changes on the outside, something changes on the inside. Financial blessing does not begin with a bigger paycheck, it begins with a bigger mindset. The way you think about money determines the way you handle money. The way you handle money determines whether it grows or disappears. Many people pray for financial increase, but they keep thinking with the same limitations that created their struggles in the first place. They want new results with old thinking. They want abundance while maintaining habits that lead to scarcity. That is not how transformation works. Growth requires mental upgrades. A shift in mindset means moving from short-term survival to long-term stewardship. Instead of asking, "How do I get through this month?" you start asking, "How do I build something that lasts?" You stop viewing money as something to chase and start viewing it as something to manage wisely. Wealth is not just about earning, it is about stewardship. If you cannot manage small resources, you will struggle with larger ones. If you waste little opportunities, bigger opportunities will slip away. Discipline in small things creates trust for bigger things. This mindset shift also means letting go of scarcity thinking. Scarcity says there is never enough. It convinces you that success for someone else means failure for you. It makes you compete instead of create. It whispers that generosity is dangerous and saving is impossible. But abundance thinking says God's provision is not limited. Opportunities exist. Growth is possible. Resources can multiply when handled wisely. Scarcity keeps you trapped in fear. Abundance opens the door to faith and possibility. When your mindset shifts, you begin to value wisdom over impulse. Financial decisions are no longer emotional reactions but intentional choices. You think before you spend. You plan before you act. You prioritize needs over wants. This does not mean you never enjoy life. It means you build a foundation so that enjoyment does not become destruction. Many financial struggles come from emotional spending and poor planning. A transformed mindset creates discipline, and discipline creates stability. Another part of mindset growth is learning to seek knowledge. Successful financial journeys are built on learning. You start asking questions. You study. You observe how money works. You learn principles of saving, investing, and stewardship. Knowledge removes ignorance, and ignorance is often the root of financial mistakes. When you grow in understanding, you grow in capability. This shift also affects how you view time. Quick riches rarely last. Sustainable wealth requires patience and consistency. Small steps taken over time create massive results. Just like a tree grows slowly but eventually becomes strong, financial growth develops gradually. The key is not instant success but consistent progress. Most importantly, mindset transformation aligns your finances with purpose. Money is a tool, not a destination. It should serve your calling, your family, and your impact. When you see wealth as a means to do good, your perspective changes. You stop chasing money for status and start using it for significance. That is a powerful shift. God often prepares people for financial blessing by upgrading their thinking. He teaches discipline before abundance. He builds wisdom before wealth. Because money without wisdom can create problems, but money with wisdom can create opportunities. The mindset you carry today determines the life you experience tomorrow. When you think differently, you act differently. When you act differently, results begin to change. Sometimes the greatest protection in your journey toward financial blessing is separation. It does not always feel like protection at first. It can feel like loss. Certain relationships fade. Certain environments no longer feel comfortable. People you once depended on drift away. Opportunities that once excited you close. And in those moments, it is easy to assume something has gone wrong. But separation is not always punishment. Sometimes it is preparation. Not every connection is meant to accompany you into the future God has for you. Some relationships serve a season but not a lifetime. They were valuable for growth, for lessons, for experience, but they were never meant to carry you into the next level. Holding on to the wrong influences can slow progress. It can create distractions. It can pull you away from the discipline and focus required for financial breakthrough. When God removes certain connections, He is not abandoning you. He is aligning you. Financial blessing requires clarity. It requires focus. It requires environments that nurture growth instead of discouraging it. If you are surrounded by voices that constantly speak doubt, it becomes harder to believe. If you are in spaces that encourage wasteful habits, it becomes harder to be disciplined. Separation creates space for alignment. It allows you to grow without unnecessary interference. It makes room for new relationships, new opportunities, and new ideas that support the person you are becoming. This kind of separation can also be emotional. You may notice a growing distance from old mindsets. Things that once mattered no longer carry the same weight. You stop seeking approval from people who do not understand your vision. You become more selective about where you invest your time and energy. That is growth. It is not arrogance. It is wisdom. You cannot please everyone and still pursue purpose. You cannot carry every opinion and still move forward. Sometimes God removes what would sabotage the blessing before He releases the blessing. Think of it like pruning. A gardener cuts away dead branches so that new growth can flourish. The pruning does not mean the tree is dying. It means it is being prepared to produce more fruit. In the same way, separation does not mean your journey is failing. It means space is being created for something better. Financial blessing also requires alignment with the right influences. Surrounding yourself with people who value growth, discipline, and wisdom can change your perspective. Their habits can inspire yours. Their conversations can challenge you to think bigger. Their success can show you what is possible. This does not mean abandoning old relationships with harshness or disrespect. It means recognizing that not every relationship has the same role in your future. Separation can be painful, but it can also be freeing. It removes distractions. It clears emotional clutter. It allows you to hear your own thoughts and God's guidance more clearly. When you are constantly influenced by competing voices, it becomes difficult to move with confidence. Space and silence create room for direction. If you are experiencing separation, do not assume it is a negative sign. Consider that it might be a necessary step. Growth often requires letting go. Progress often requires change. And financial blessing often requires alignment with environments and relationships that support your purpose. Trust the process. What feels like loss today may be setting the foundation for greater opportunities tomorrow. Increased responsibility before reward is one of the clearest indicators that growth is happening. Financial blessing rarely arrives as sudden ease. It often comes after seasons where you are trusted with more than you feel ready for. You might be handling additional tasks without immediate recognition. You might be carrying burdens that do not seem fairly distributed. You might be working harder while seeing little change in external results. But responsibility is not punishment. It is preparation. Think about how skills are developed. No one becomes strong without lifting weight. No one becomes skilled without practice. No one becomes wise without experience. Responsibility functions the same way. It stretches your capacity. It teaches discipline. It builds reliability. When you are entrusted with more, you are being tested too. See how you handle it. Can you remain faithful when no one is watching? Can you do excellent work even when rewards are delayed? These questions shape character. Financial blessing requires stewardship. God does not simply give resources to people who cannot manage them. He entrusts increase to those who prove trustworthy with what they already have. If you cannot manage small responsibilities, larger ones will create problems. If you neglect details, bigger opportunities may collapse. Responsibility reveals whether you are ready for the next level. It is not about perfection but faithfulness. Doing your best with what you have is often the pathway to receiving more. Sometimes responsibility comes in unexpected forms. You might be asked to lead. You might be given tasks that challenge you. You might need to make decisions that require wisdom. These situations can feel overwhelming. But they are opportunities. Growth happens when you step beyond comfort. If everything remained easy, you would never expand. If you only handled situations that required no effort, your potential would remain limited. Increased responsibility also teaches humility. It reminds you that success is not just about individual effort. It requires collaboration, learning, and service. When you take responsibility seriously, you develop credibility. People notice reliability. Opportunities arise when others trust you. Financial blessing is often connected to trust. Employers trust employees who show commitment. Clients trust professionals who deliver value. Communities trust leaders who act with integrity. Trust becomes a foundation for growth. This season of responsibility may not feel glamorous. It might feel like work without immediate reward. But seeds take time to grow. Harvests do not appear the same day seeds are planted. The work you are doing now is planting seeds for the future. Every effort matters. Every lesson matters. Every moment of discipline matters. If you feel stretched, that is a sign of growth. If you are being trusted with more, that is evidence of potential. Do not view responsibility as a burden. View it as preparation for what is coming. The skills you develop, the character you build, and the wisdom you gain will position you for greater opportunities. Financial blessing often follows seasons of responsibility because responsibility proves readiness. When you handle what you have well, you prepare yourself for what is next. A growing vision for more is one of the quiet but powerful signs that something inside you is changing. It is not greed. It is not dissatisfaction with what you have. It is a deeper calling that stirs your heart and makes you think beyond present limitations. You start imagining possibilities you once ignored. You see opportunities where you previously saw barriers. Your thoughts expand. Your ambitions shift. What once felt impossible begins to feel attainable. This vision often arrives gradually. It might begin as small ideas, thoughts about creating something, learning something new, or stepping into a different role. You may feel a pull toward growth, even if you do not fully understand it. That pull is significant. It means your mindset is expanding. God often places dreams in the heart before providing the means to fulfill them. Vision comes first. Provision follows. A growing vision challenges comfort. When you begin dreaming bigger, you naturally question old habits and routines. You wonder if there is more you can do, more you can become. This is not a sign of restlessness but of potential. Comfort can be good for rest, but it can become limiting if it prevents growth. Vision pushes you beyond ease. It encourages exploration. It invites learning. It demands progress. Financial blessing is closely connected to vision. People who achieve lasting success do not simply chase money. They pursue ideas, solutions, and purpose. They see money as a tool rather than an end goal. A growing vision helps you think that way. You start asking different questions. How can I add value? What problems can I solve? How can I use my resources wisely? These questions shape decisions that lead to growth. Vision also builds motivation. When you can see a better future, you are more willing to work for it. Challenges become easier to endure because you understand they are part of the journey. Obstacles no longer define you. They refine you. Every effort becomes meaningful because it contributes to something larger. Vision gives purpose to persistence. Sometimes a growing vision feels uncomfortable. You might doubt yourself. You might worry about failure. You might wonder if you are capable. These feelings are normal. Growth always involves uncertainty, but vision does not require perfect confidence. It requires faith and action. You move forward step by step, learning as you go. Progress is rarely instant, but it is possible. Vision also connects you to opportunity. When you think bigger, you notice things you previously overlooked. A new skill might interest you. A new idea might excite you. A new connection might inspire you. Opportunities often appear when your mindset is ready to recognize them. Vision opens your eyes to possibilities. If you are experiencing a growing vision, do not dismiss it. Pay attention to it. Reflect on what it means. Consider what steps you can take to nurture it. Growth does not happen all at once. It happens through small, consistent actions. Learning, planning, and taking initiative are ways to honor the vision you feel. A growing vision is not proof that you lack contentment. It is proof that you are capable of more. Contentment and growth can coexist. You can be grateful for what you have while still striving for improvement. Vision encourages progress without rejecting appreciation. It helps you build a future while valuing the present. Trust the process of growth. Vision is a gift. It points toward possibilities and reminds you that life is filled with opportunities. Financial blessing often follows those who dream, plan, and act with purpose. When your vision expands, your potential expands with it. The journey may take time, but every step matters. Growth begins with belief and continues with action. Peace in the middle of lack is one of the most powerful indicators that your heart is being strengthened. Financial situations can change quickly. Numbers on a screen can rise or fall. Bills can feel heavy. Opportunities can seem distant. But peace is different. Peace is not tied to circumstances. It is a condition of the heart. When you can remain calm even when things are uncertain, it means your faith is growing. Many people assume that peace only exists when everything is going well. They believe tranquility depends on abundance. But true peace is deeper. It comes from trust. When you trust that God is in control, anxiety loses its power. You stop reacting to every challenge with fear. You begin to believe that situations, even difficult ones, can work out in ways you do not yet understand. Financial lack can test this trust. It is easy to feel stressed when resources are limited. It is easy to worry about the future. But worry rarely solves problems. It only drains energy. Peace, on the other hand, allows clear thinking. When your mind is calm, you make better decisions. You see possibilities instead of only problems. You approach challenges with wisdom instead of panic. Peace does not mean ignoring reality. It does not mean pretending difficulties do not exist. It means facing reality with confidence. You acknowledge the situation but refuse to be controlled by it. You work toward solutions without surrendering to fear. This mindset is powerful because it creates stability. Even when external conditions fluctuate, your internal state remains steady. One of the greatest gifts of peace is emotional resilience. Financial struggles can be emotionally exhausting. They can create doubt and self-criticism. But peace protects your mental health. It reminds you that your worth is not defined by temporary circumstances. You are valuable regardless of financial status. Your journey is still unfolding. Challenges do not erase potential. Peace also strengthens relationships. When you are anxious, it is easy to become irritable or withdrawn. Stress can affect how you interact with others. But when you carry peace, you communicate better. You approach conversations with patience. You respond with understanding. This creates healthier connections and support systems, which are important during difficult seasons. If you feel peace despite lack, consider it a sign of growth. It means you are learning to trust beyond what you can see. It means you are developing emotional strength. It means you are becoming the kind of person who can handle both success and struggle with maturity. Financial blessing requires this kind of stability. Resources can increase, but character must remain grounded. Peace is not passive. It does not mean you stop working or planning. It means you work with clarity instead of anxiety. You plan with wisdom instead of fear. You move forward with purpose. Lack may be temporary, but peace helps you navigate it with dignity and hope. When you can rest even in uncertain times, you demonstrate faith. Faith is not the absence of problems. It is the belief that solutions exist. It is the confidence that growth is possible. It is the understanding that seasons change. Peace reflects this belief. It allows you to move forward without being overwhelmed. Financial blessing often follows those who cultivate peace. Not because peace earns money, but because it prepares you to handle increase wisely. When you are calm and focused, you make better choices. You steward resources responsibly. You build a foundation for long-term success. If you feel peace today, appreciate it. It is a strength, not a weakness. It means you are growing. It means you are learning to trust. And trust is one of the most powerful tools for navigating life's journey. Even in lack, peace reminds you that growth is still possible. When your prayers begin to shift from asking for money to asking for growth, something significant is happening. It means you understand that financial blessing without character can become a burden. Resources alone do not guarantee success. Many people have experienced sudden financial gain only to lose it because they lack the discipline and wisdom to manage it. Money can amplify what already exists. If character is strong, wealth can become a tool for good. If character is weak, wealth can create problems. That is why growth in who you are matters more than immediate gain. Character is the foundation of lasting success. It shapes how you make decisions. It determines whether you act with integrity when no one is watching. It influences how you treat others and how you handle responsibility. Financial blessing without integrity can lead to poor choices. It can encourage shortcuts and compromises. But when character is strong, financial resources become opportunities to build, help, and create positive impact. Desiring character over cash also reflects maturity. It means you recognize that personal development is valuable. Instead of focusing only on external results, you focus on internal growth. You ask questions like, how can I become more disciplined? How can I learn new skills? How can I improve my thinking? These questions lead to progress. They shape you into someone capable of handling greater opportunities. Financial blessing is not just about what you receive. It is about what you become. If you gain resources but remain unchanged, the results may not last. Growth ensures sustainability. Discipline ensures stewardship. Wisdom ensures good decisions. These qualities allow financial increase to serve a meaningful purpose rather than become a source of stress or distraction. When you pray for character, you invite transformation. Growth is sometimes uncomfortable. It requires humility. It requires learning. It requires acknowledging areas that need improvement. But discomfort is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of progress. Just as muscles grow through resistance, character grows through experience. Challenges shape resilience. Lessons shape wisdom. Difficult seasons often prepare you for greater opportunities. This shift in prayer also changes perspective. Instead of viewing success as an end goal, you see it as part of a journey. You understand that every step matters. Small improvements build momentum. Daily choices create long-term results. Character development is not instant, but it is powerful. Over time, it shapes outcomes. Desiring growth over gain also creates peace. When you focus only on money, circumstances can feel controlling. Success or failure becomes tied to external conditions. But when you prioritize character, you regain a sense of purpose. You recognize that progress is possible regardless of immediate financial results. You measure success by personal development and wisdom. This mindset does not reject financial blessing. It prepares you for it. Resources are valuable, but they require responsibility. Character ensures that increase is handled well. It allows you to make decisions that align with purpose. It helps you use opportunities wisely. If you find yourself praying for growth, embrace it. It is a sign of maturity. It means you understand that lasting success is built on strong foundations. Financial blessing can come and go, but character remains. It shapes how you respond to challenges and opportunities. It influences your impact on others. It determines the quality of your journey. Growth is a process. It happens gradually. Every lesson matters. Every decision matters. Every step forward contributes to who you become. When you value character, you position yourself for sustainable success. Resources become tools, not goals. Opportunities become responsibilities, not burdens. And personal development becomes the foundation for meaningful progress. If this message blessed you, share it with someone who needs it.